Macmillan Audio presents Assassin's Run by Ward Larsen. Read for you by P.J. Ochlan. One. It was just as well Pyotr Ivanovich didn't realize he was about to die. As a man who comprehensively enjoyed a good meal, his last on this earth would be free of any misgivings regarding his soon-to-be-issued digestif. He glanced out the starboard window at a night-shrouded sea, the occasional breaker highlighted in dim moonlight. Lovely as the panorama was, it was far less compelling than what rested before him on the white-linened table. His new chef had outdone himself tonight. The steak before Ivanovich was a choice cut, 30 ounces of grain-fed beef flown in from Australia and seared to perfection. Against that, the potatoes lyonnais were but an afterthought, the haricots verts no more than garnish. The bottle of Bordeaux, he allowed, did the steak justice, one of the best from his extensive shipboard collection. Thankfully, the new man had learned quickly. Ivanovich did not count calories. He courted them openly, throwing himself upon the culinary altar of any chef who could do them well. Tonight's meal, as it turned out, was more special than most. It was a celebration of sorts, marking the beginning of the most ambitious undertaking of his career. Which made it very ambitious indeed. The head of his security detail came through the salon door, bringing a gust of wind with him. October had arrived full force on the Tyrrhenian Sea, the opening volley of winter's campaign. Ivanovich looked up in annoyance, but he knew there was no use in berating the man. That was life at sea. The ship was called Cassandra. Ship, because no vessel 190 feet long could be referred to as a boat, and Cassandra as a prod at his late mother. He still laughed inwardly at that. The ship had already been around the world once, while her namesake, as far as he knew, had never in her life traveled more than 10 miles from the miserable Ukrainian village in which she'd been born. The yacht had been built to his demanding specifications by a man who, if not the finest marine architect in Greece, was certainly the most expensive. The mahogany planking beneath his feet was inlaid with gold trim, and every fitting and furnishing was of the highest quality. Marble floors and columns predominated, so much weight that the poor architect had warned the boat might capsize. Another $3 million had allayed the man's worries, something to do with stabilizers and ballast to keep the ship upright, and causing Ivanovich to jest that her keel had been laid not in lead, but gold. Ultimately, however, he had what he wanted. Not a refuge for the odd vacation, but rather a stage, a platform from which all manner of business and pleasure might be consummated. His thick-set security chief padded across the salon. He was dressed in his usual ill-fitting suit, and his only visible accessory, sourced not from Gucci or Hermes, but rather Beretta, bulged obviously beneath a wrinkled lapel. The man handed over a communications printout. "This just arrived," he said in Russian. Ivanovich took a 10-page printout in hand and removed his reading glasses from a pocket. "Is the loading complete?" he asked. "Yes. The ship will sail shortly after midnight from Sevastopol." Ivanovich skimmed the report, which contained an official manifest purporting what was being carried and where it was being taken. He chuckled at the creativity involved, and with some effort, extracted the few truths. The destination was listed as Mumbai, which covered things nicely. Argos, a ship his new subsidiary had acquired only last month, was to leave Crimea for the Black Sea, then run a gentle slalom through the Bosporus Straits, followed by a left turn into open water. There she would disappear into the Mediterranean's river of commerce.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?